Interesting questions and important answers and opportunity. This is Thoughtful Beliefs.
Why do Christians wear crosses? JFK supporters don't wear bullets on a necklace. Michael Jackson fans don't wear excess meds. Why? Because those were tragic and sad examples of life taken. The cross was invented by Romans to provide an excruciating death, yet the cross became a symbol of the answers provided by a life given. The gospel, which literally means the good news, is that the same Bible that spoke of the beginning, the cause, and the purposeful designer of the universe also stated that purposeful designer didn't remain distant, but instead gave a further personal disclosure in Jesus. Jesus came to earth, lived as a personal display of how God is, to take the cost of our wrong choices and actions on himself, so that justice was done with God paying our pardon. Jesus then returned after death, that's resurrected, in order to verify his claim that life is where we learn and make our choice regarding God, and afterlife is where that choice is fulfilled. The Easter account is either true or false. There's no middle ground. If it's true, then it's ultimately important. If it's not true, then it's ultimately pitiful to believe in, as the Apostle Paul stated. So it's either ultimately important or pitiful. The one thing it is not is marginally important. So this requires serious attention. But there are many different religions with different claims about different gods, which isn't surprising. People want to believe what they want to believe. But by the law of contradiction, when all these different belief systems contradict each other, only one at most can be accurate. Which one sets itself apart to a level the others can't reach? And I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, how can we possibly know about something that happened in ancient times? I was thinking that too. It's a reasonable question. But if you think we can't know what happened in ancient times, the scholarship disagrees with you. We've been miseducated on this. I can give a quick example. I was asked to speak after in a public school, but after school was out to this Christian group. And before it was out, I was sitting in a history class just waiting for the class to be over, and the teacher kind of ran out of things to do. So he made the mistake of saying, hey, why don't you tell the class here what you're going to be talking about after school? So I went up there, and it happened to be a history class, and I'd said, all right, open your history books up to Gandhi. How many pages did you spend on Gandhi? And think how many exam questions, how much focus was spent on this character. Now do the same for Abraham Lincoln. Now do the same for Martin Luther King. And then I asked them, now open up to Jesus of Nazareth. How much time and how many pages, it was like such a short little amount, how much was the time spent to this person compared to the others? It was so minute. And I said, isn't that funny? Because Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, and Martin Luther King all said that Jesus is the most important person in all of history. Yet we spend no time on him. And think of this. That guy claimed to be God. He claimed that because of what he did on the cross, we can have a relationship with God. That doesn't make him a great moral teacher. That either makes him absolutely nuts, or the whole thing's a legend. There's only so many options when you claim that. And if Abraham Lincoln claimed that he was also God and he's the way that you can have a relationship with God, don't you think that's important to know about an important historical figure? Well, students at Harvard actually did think this and wonder. So Simon Greenleaf, he was their professor. He was teaching them the normal circumscribed view of Jesus as good moral teacher. And the students actually asked them, well, wait a minute, this guy claimed to be God. What about that? So Simon Greenleaf, he's one of the two people that brought Harvard Law School up to where it's at. He actually wrote, the book he wrote about evidence, the lawyers all called the Bible of evidence. It was the standard. So he's actually like, that's a good question. So he took time as a researcher and he researched it. What he ended up finding made him conclude, and he wrote a book on this, that there's no way around the fact of this evidence. The resurrection happened. Now, you know it's miraculous evidence when even lawyers are getting to heaven. It takes unprecedented evidence to turn the cross, something man-made to dispense pain and death applying man's justice, removing all the person's future potential, into something God used to personally take on pain and death applying God's redemption and love, and adding massive new potential for those who decide to choose it. Or it's not true, and wearing those crosses for anything but fashion is stupid. Check the evidence and decide for yourself. A bunch of this is waiting for you at thoughtfulbeliefs.org.